All right, guys, this is it. This is one of the big things that we've been waiting on for the channel. That's right, guys, a set of SVE aluminum heads. So let's get these out and look them over. I can tell you right off the bat they're not that heavy, which obviously they're aluminum heads, but pretty light. Guys, that is a good looking head right there. I'm not gonna lie to you. We'll get the flashlight out in a minute and look in all the holes and give you guys kind of an overview of the heads, kind of a first impressions, I guess, video of these heads.
Good looking set of heads.
It is. All right, so I want to go ahead and let you guys know I am not a head guru. What I'm going to do is get my phone. We're going to go over all the specs of the heads and let you guys know what they're all about. Also, we're going to just look over the general just cleanliness of the head. I can see right here we already have one little piece of aluminum, but that's to be expected, guys. That's why you have to inspect your heads. You have to look at these things because you don't want any of that obviously inside of your head. Overall though, they look really clean. I tell you what, first off, let's just go ahead and look through the heads. Yeah, I don't see any casting flash or anything like that. So everything looks good, guys, so far. Really smooth. And man, they look good.
They look pretty good.
Yeah, they do. So no damage in shipping or anything like that.
Single springs.
Yeah, like Andrew said, these are single springs with a dampener on the inside. They are good for a 550 lift. Now I know a lot of you are probably snickering right now and laughing because that's not really a true spec. Whenever a company tells you that they're good for 550 lift, it's more about seat pressure than anything. So what I'll do is I'll just read through the specs. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put all the specs up for you guys right here, and then we'll read through them all. All right, guys, so here we go. I'll run over the specs with you real quick. Like, they are an aluminum head, obviously. They're 61cc combustion chamber, 170cc intake runner, 60cc exhaust runner. They are not CNC ported. They have 202 160 valves, a maximum lift of 550. So like I said, that don't really go by that, guys, because certain cam manufacturers require certain seat pressures, but that's what they state. Now, outside diameter of these springs are a 1.460. They are a single spring with a dampener, and the valve spring pressure is 130 pounds closed and 325 pounds open. So they require a 3/8 stud. Push rod size is a 5/16, and valve angle is 20. That's your overall specs. That's just your basic specs that you can look at. You can look up on LMR, but as you can see, these are your plates for your push rods right here. Like I said, it comes with studs, comes with everything that you need. It's funny because whenever we first picked the box up, you could hear stuff like jiggling around in the box, and me and Andrew both looked at each other like, oh, you know, what is this? But honestly, it was they don't come assembled with your studs. So that's all that was moving around in there. But so far, guys, me and Andrew both are really impressed with these. Like I said, we opened the box up earlier just to kind of look at them.
They're pretty clean.
Yeah, they are. Here's a good shot right here down inside these intake runners. So if you guys were interested in the SVE heads, or you have some experience, then talk to me down below. Let me know what you think of them. There's one thing that I noticed earlier. We're gonna have to clean this up right here. So if you look, you can see a little bit of a burr right here on your spark plug hole. Now that's one thing that you are definitely going to want to clean up, because these little slivers of metal right here will cause hot spots, and that will cause pre-detonation. So we don't want any of that, but that's a simple fix. Put your little reamer right there, a countersink bit, anything, sandpaper, whatever you got, and just clean that up. So there's not much else to really talk about with the heads themselves. I think the flow numbers from what I looked at was somewhere around like 250 at 500 on the intake side. I can't remember what the exhaust is. I'll put those specs up right here because I may be wrong on that. So what kind of horsepower can we expect out of these? Well, honestly, it all depends on the combo of the car, and I'll go ahead and tell you, we have some big plans for the Calypso clone. So I guess we'll go ahead and tell them. You want to tell them, Andrew?
Yeah.
All right. So we were going to keep this a secret, but I think we'll go ahead and let you guys know what it is that we have planned. We're not just going to slap these heads on this car with no other mods. We will be running a stock bottom end, so we're not going bore 30 over, we're not going stroker, we're not going anything. We're not touching the bottom end of this car. We don't have a clue of how many miles this thing has on it, but that's okay. We're going to take that gamble. We're going to throw them on here. You save up your money, you get a set of heads, and you know what? Maybe you don't have the money for a bottom end. It's perfectly fine. We've done this many times. It's not going to cause any issues, but let's talk about some of the other things that we have coming for the car. Yeah, I really didn't want to talk about this now, but we're going to go ahead and let you all know. That way maybe you can get as excited as we are about this. So we have an Anderson cam coming. We have an N41 camshaft coming for the car. We have a set of 1.6 trick flow roller rockers coming. We've got a set of hardened push rods. I think we're going to run 38 pound injectors on the car. So I have the injectors, but I need to order a new mass air meter. So we're going to do that. We have this intake over here, which is an Explorer GT40 style intake. So we're going to run that. I know that's not ideal, but that's what we've got right now, and we're going to run it. And over here we are going to run a new 70mm throttle body. So we'll be running the SVE throttle body on the car. And other than that, guys, I mean, that's about it, right? We're not going to go crazy on this, but I want to see what kind of power this is going to make. And I have no idea, to be completely honest with you, what kind of power. I would say, yeah, we want to know what the Anderson cam's going to sound like. I have listened to so many clips on YouTube, and from what I can tell, it sounds really good. At some point, we're going to do all new exhaust. Oh yeah, and we're doing headers. So we got a set of BBK Shorty headers that somebody donated to the channel. Now, one of the things that we did beforehand, I don't know if you guys remember or not, but we raced the red car and the Calypso clone. The red car pretty much gapped the Calypso clone. It was pretty bad, actually. It just pulled away from it. So that's going to be our dyno test. We're not going to take this thing and go spend money on a dyno because we don't have one around here. But what do you actually care about? You care about visual, seat of the pants type stuff, right? So you guys want to know, if this car beat me by 2 car lengths, are these heads going to make up that difference? Well, I'm not going to be able to tell you if just the heads can make that difference up, but what I will be able to tell you is if a heads cam intake combo will. Me personally, I'm expecting the green car to pull away from the red car. That red car shouldn't stand a chance. Now, we do have an AOD in this car, as you guys know. Really going to need a stall. But we're not going to put the stall in it to start with. We're going to go out here on a stock AOD and see if this thing can outrun the Retro Fox just like this. These are a good street head from everything that I've read. The exhaust ports on these heads are not monstrous. Pretty good size intake ports, but the exhaust ports are still a little tight. Should produce a good amount of torque, and it should still make some power. If these things don't perform, I'm going to let you know. If we find any casting flash or anything like that, I'm going to let you know. I hope you guys are excited about it. Like I said, we've got a lot of things coming for the channel. We're going to put this cam in. We're going to do all that. Stay tuned for that unboxing, because we're going to unbox this camshaft and everything else, and I want to let you guys know if there's any issues with that stuff too. Probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks, that stuff should be coming in, and we'll get started installing this. Now, it's going to be a little while before we get this done. As you all know, we still have interior to do. So we've got to get all this stuff taken care of. Shouldn't be too long though. We'll have all this knocked out. Big things are coming. The Calypso clone is no longer going to be stock. So I'm excited about it. Andrew's excited about it. Now, I guess we could talk real quick about the budget on the car. Obviously, the budget on the car has been blown. I mean, we blew the budget a while back, and now we're getting into more of the more expensive stuff, you know. And I think we got this thing running for what, about $3,500, I think. Somewhere around there is what we had in this thing. And then, you know, the price just keeps going up. You know, there's a lot of stuff that we could have reused on this thing, but I did prove to you guys that you can put a car on the road. What do we have? About $5 grand by the time we actually got the car on the road, fixed a few things on it. I mean, we had a $5,000 Cobra Clone, and we could have just really freshened up the interior, but we chose not to do that. And from here on out, we're going to try to make this thing really nice. I'm not telling you it's going to be a show car. We're going to make this thing nice. Also, I guess we can talk about the blower. So at some point, we're probably going to do some boost on the car. Now, originally I had talked to you guys about doing like an on-3 turbo setup, but myself and Andrew about decided that we don't really want to do that. So we've decided that I think we're just going to go with a blower setup. Maybe an old school ProCharger, you know, Vortex, something like that. Andrew wants to put a power dyno on it, but you know, I don't really.
No.
Andrew wants a power dyno because he says they make the most power.
They got power in the name, right?
But seriously, I think that's what we're going to do, is just go with a supercharger setup. Me and Andrew have talked about it many times, and the turbo setups are great, but man, they have so much stuff in the way. You got to deal with all that heat under the hood, and we want something really simple and reliable. If we want to pull the supercharger off and put it over there in the corner for a while, then we can do that, and the car will still run on its own. It's a very easy kind of swap. You can take that thing on and off if you want to. You basically can take one pipe off and get to everything that you need to. So I think we are going to do a supercharger. When, I don't know. It's probably going to be later on in the year or first of next year, something like that. And we'll see what we do from there. We'll see how these heads perform and whatnot. But that's going to be about the extent of the build. We'll probably do a stroker at some point.
When we blow this one up.
Yeah, when we blow this one up, we'll do a stroker, which, you know, might be sooner than later. But I think we're going to probably go with the 331, or we might even actually go with the 347. We'll see what the future holds. But for right now, this is what we've got. And I'm very excited to see how these things perform.
I'm excited to see them.
Yep, it's kind of bittersweet. You know, I love these heads. I'm excited about them, but man, the work ahead of us to do all this. Because, I mean, we're doing cam. We're doing, obviously, you know, new timing chain, new water pump.
2 days.
Yeah, it's going to be a job. And we're going to take our time with it because a lot of stuff's got to be painted. You remember I told you, whenever we do this to the car, we're going to paint this engine up. We're going to make it look good. As you all know, this is what we've got. Just a dirty, bone stock engine. So as we do this, when we pull everything apart, we're going to really paint everything up, make it look nice. So that's kind of where we're headed with this. We just want a nice, clean setup. I will be running the stock air box on the car, though. I'm excited about that, actually. I love that setup with the stock air box. So we'll be putting just a K&N filter in it. You know, when you pop the hood, I want this to look nice. So like I said, it's going to take a little bit of time, but it'll be all right. It'll all be worth it in the end. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this video up. And as always, thanks for watching.